So we go. Make sure I hit the record button. I want to welcome everybody to the Making Money Trading Stocks and ETFs for Friday, the 15th of December. We have 2 more weeks left in the trading year, guys. We have 9 days, basically, because Christmas will be a day off. I don't know if they're going to shut down a half day on the 22nd or not. I will, double check that. I want to remind everybody that all the materials we do present are for training purposes only. Traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. It's one of the things I like about utilizing the Thinkorswim platform, because it does allow us to paper trade positions, paper trade strategies. A little bit about who I am. I now have moved back to Hawaii, so for those of you, if you're new, I lived in Hawaii a long time ago, and then we just moved back June of last year. I still work with my research partner in Dallas, Texas, Mike Traeger. Mike's in the process of moving, so he will probably not join us today on the webinar. But I've been trading all the way back since 1989. That's a long time. I've been basically just playing with this idea over the last little bit. Every trade is a conflict between emotions, knowledge, and wisdom. If you've been trading for a while, even if you are a strict adherent, you strictly follow your rules and or active trend trading rules, it's still you face this conflict. Do you pull the trigger? Don't you pull the trigger? And so what we found is just, the more mechanical we can be, the more mechanical the system, oftentimes that allows the wisdom and the knowledge to trump the emotions, but the emotions are still there. Their emotions are still there. Our objective of this webinar, 10 to 15 minutes, timely, actionable intel review at the end of the week, market review, stocks and ETFs performance, and or something that's setting up any bonus trades that we may have. Those who have been following for the for basically active trend trading members, both the premium and the non-premium, we've been offering these bonus trades where we're doing somewhere between 10 and 12 trades per year. It's approximately 1 per month. We just opened one this past week in Nugget, and we're just going to try to hold on to that. But that basically has been working fairly well, but I just wanted to be providing a reward to all active trend trading members. So if you're not an active trend trading member, you'll have an opportunity to just go and register to at least get on the mailing list, and so you can get the alerts. So it's Aloha Friday here in Hawaii, and this is me getting ready for the market this morning. And you can see the charts are rocking and ready to go. We're doing okay for the year. Those of you who follow the premium members know we got whacked on our Tesla trade that we're trying to close out in strategy 3. But the overall still it put a small dent in our returns of about a percentage to 2%, but then we're starting to recover that. What I'm going to be focusing on, just so everybody will know, for premium members, what I'm going to be focused on going into the end of the year is basically working with everybody on doing swing type trades. And so we're going to be looking at swing triggers to get us in and out, and it'll be operating off of basically the intraday charts, and I'll be watching intraday charts and issuing my alerts off of those. We've had some really good movement here of late on a lot of things, such as Netflix, such as YY. YY got a good move this morning. And so that's what I'll be focusing on, because I want to walk into the new year, one, practiced up, so that in what we're going to be doing here is it's going to be kind of like practiced up so that we'll be ready to move into 2018. But right now we're working on the swing trade aspect. It's kind of like working on doing your field goals if you're on a football team, and you want to have a good field goal kicker, because that's what you want to be able to always fall back on to when you need that 3 points. So we're not going to make a lot doing the swing tradings, but when you need a 3-point play, it's nice to know you have something you can depend on. That's what we're going to be focusing on. Let's take a look at some charts moving forward. Okay, here is that YY. What I was talking about is it's getting a nice little bounce off the 8-day moving average, and 107.51. And it looks like it wants to tick back up. Like to see the TSI, continue to tick up a little bit more. But YY, I think we were in YY early in the year when it was down about 100. We took it out at and we sold it back about 110, and now it's reloading. And you like it when you get stocks that are working like that. SPX this morning. Yesterday drops down to the 8-day moving average. Guess what today? Rebound. So it looks as if the Fed meeting was kind of like a non-event. It was just taken in stride by the market. The market is pushing higher. Are there telltale warning signs that we need to be looking, be paying attention to? Well, yes, there are. One of the reasons why yesterday we kind of had a little sell-off is towards the middle of the day, end of the day, I think Marco Rubio came out and said that he was not going to support the new tax plan, that he was going to vote against it. And so that kind of freaked the market a little bit, and they're going, oh, this tax plan isn't going to go in. And so the market didn't like that. But apparently I have not been listening to the news today. You guys may know this already, but maybe what happened? What has happened today to kind of reverse the thoughts of the market? But it's gotten a real good push up today. New highs again. This hanging man that we had on here for last week outside of the upper channel line is now voided. Okay, so that is no longer a bearish signal. That is voided, and we'll have to wait for the next one on a weekly chart. Excuse me just a second. Excuse me, I thought I had it on mute. NDX, NASDAQ also breaking out to new highs, pushing higher, a little bit of negative divergence on the weekly TSI, but it's still pushing on to its high. A little bit of frustration with the Russell in that I jumped all over a trade yesterday on TNA when it was down here about the 20-day moving average. It immediately fell like a rock on the Rubio news. Rubio signed off on the plan, so everything's copacetic again. Anyway, we came down, bounced off this support yesterday, and on the TNA and on IWM, it's even more closer to the 50. We get a nice reversal day, and away it goes. It's the tone of the market, right now. Very volatile, very, pushing around. So anyway, some of you may have been following this trade, and you may have been stopped out. You may have jumped back in as it bounced off the 50 yesterday, or first thing this morning, moving on up, because now we're going to have another TSI tick up, and I would look to potentially and a breakout above the 70 level. So anything down back around the moving averages would be a legitimate entry again. IWM, same type of thing. Again, didn't quite make it to the 50, but it made it down to the support level about 150, and then rebounded today and is moving on up. We'll, most likely, if it doesn't get interrupted, we'll move up and take, at least approach the previous high from about a week and a half ago. That's what we're looking at. So IWM, I like a little bit better than the S&P, but the S&P is still being really strong, and so we'll see how that trends out through the rest of the year. And I'm going to be coming back and looking at it. So I want to talk about NASDAQ and NASDAQ seasonality. Of course, hey, we're here. This may be the move up that the NASDAQ tends to do towards the end of December, right there. We want to be able to get in it. Russell, same. Where this may be the trigger up off the Russell. So again, pullbacks into the moving average. That would be a trigger to get back into a Russell trade or an IWM or a TNA trade. Here's where we're sitting as of the end of as of about 9 o'clock this morning. The downturn in the strategy, this was buying back the or selling out of the Tesla trade, and so that, you know, those big plus ups and the big hits, that's where we were getting out of a position. So the Tesla didn't do quite as well on the second time around as it did on the first time around, because the first time around it did great, made 100%. Want to remind you that the active trend trading system we follow the 5 pillars of active trend trading: what to trade, which we basically focus on IBD, growth stocks, and top-notch ETFs. When to enter, we provide when to exit, what strategy we're going to use, and what to expect. Okay, the last 2 weeks the Fed was a non-event. Here's what I'm looking forward to in the next couple of weeks. What I'm looking for is that all the institutions and money managers will start dressing it up for the end of the year. So in other words, that means the stocks that have been popular in the past are going to probably be, we'll see money going into those. Things like the FANG stocks, things like Tesla, maybe some of the Chinese stocks and all that kind of stuff, as the portfolio managers dress up their portfolio to finish out the end of the year. Then that's where we're going to focus primarily on our 7 ETFs and the 3 or 4 focus stocks that we're looking at. What are those focus stocks? Netflix, Tesla, NVDA, YY. Now we may get opportunities to do bonus trades like we got here. Well, we've had here with Nugget, and I don't know how many got into the Nugget trade, but it right now is doing okay. It needs to get up to about 27.45 to basically hit our 5% mark, take off part of the profits there, and then, you know, move on and wait for the next setup. Catfish specials that I'm looking at is Microchip and AEIS. Some of the other things, we'll take a real quick look at those. Refinements, each strategy going into the end of 2018. For premium members, we are focusing on that on Wednesday night training sessions. I'm going to do a special training on setting up strategy 3. That's the wealth and income strategy. This is going to be for both premium and non-premium members. Now, the non-premium members, there will be a small tuition to get in and go through this whole session, but we will make it worth your while to join us. And that'll be a 3-hour training on Saturday, the 30th of December. That way, everybody will be singing off the same piece of music or same sheet as we go into the 2018 for strategy number 3. Strategy number 3 has done quite well for the year. New composite watch list for active trend trading members. That's something we launched a couple of weeks ago. What I'm doing on the weekend now is I'm going into the IBD website. I'm pulling every stock that is on every watch list that IBD has, and I'm rolling that into a composite list, and then I do a sort to generate a watch list. It was about it's been the last couple of weeks. It's been about 100, and then I sort out to find out what are the top 5 to 10 stocks on that list. Okay, David. Yeah, it's not going to be a 3-hour tour. David says, I hope the 3-hour tour turns out better than Gilligan's. And so, early warning alerts. We're doing updates on those, and we also have a new membership opportunity going on there. Strategy 2. I continue to refine strategy 2. Here's what we're after. We're after basically making this into an income generating strategy. $500 to $1,000 per week. That's the target. This week on NVDA, we sold a spread and we picked up $299 for the week. So a little bit short of where we want to be, but still moving in the right direction. Strategy 3, Foundation and Tesla, that is basically now gone. The strategy is now closed down until we will start it back up first week in January 2018. The strategy is now up about 114% for the year. For premium members, if you ever want to know what we're going to be doing for the week or what we're looking at, I like to highlight some entities, because I think if by focusing on a few, it keeps us from getting. It helps us to basically, by focusing on a few, hopefully those few don't slip away from us. We've got the 7 ETFs we look at. Now on each one of these, we will look at trading the 3-time leveraged. Then we've got our core stocks. And I'm going to be, I think, moving YY up into the core stocks also. But Tesla, NVDA, Netflix, YY, and then and this comes out every either Saturday or Monday, or correction, over the weekend or on Monday early, and it basically provides, okay, here's what we're looking at, here's the signals, if there are any, and what trade setups we see potentially happen, and or what has to happen in order for us to have a trade signal. So that's been working very, very, very well since we've implemented that. Lastly, what else we got going here? Here are the bonus trades that we've done so far this year. Here's the latest one that I opened on December 14th. We bought Nugget at 26.17 or 26.15, and with Nugget, it came within a penny today, a penny of hitting a 5%. I want to remind everybody that we do have a year-end special for the active trend trading system. And if you just basically go to this website right down here, you can take advantage of 40% off of the regular $74.99 monthly membership, or you can join the early warning alerts for 50% off of its yearly membership. And these are two separate entities, and so but our objective for both myself and Mike is to provide a clear and simple trading system for busy people so they can become wise, profitable, and winning traders. I'm thinking about adopting a new motto that basically says trade well and prosper. But I don't have pointed ears, so I guess I'll have to not use that one. So 2017, a season of explosive growth. Keep the egg growing into 2018, and I'm going to be focusing, like I said, the last 2 weeks of the year, I'm going to be focusing on getting us all geared up and ready to go into 2018. For those of you who are premium members, we will be having our next final hour coming up at straight up 12 noon, and I am going to hit a couple of stock charts, so don't go away. I just want to remind everybody that we will see you next time, and until Monday. Remember, this webinar is connected to the webinar that we do on Monday called After Market Monday, which gives you the setups for the week after the weekend review. So I encourage you to join that. And if you're out there and you're looking at our videos, the tape videos, and or any of the information that's on YouTube and or on Twitter and or Facebook, please give us a thumbs up and a like and make a comment. I like to get the dialogue started. And you're a BAM member, you can also get with us through there. So until Monday, aloha, trade wisely, trade profitably. Let's trade. Let's take a look at a couple of these entities. Okay, here's IWM. That is not this is a daily, weekly. I'm going to pull up the week. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, Far left, hourly chart, middle, weekly, daily, the right, a weekly chart. I want to take a look at two different entities. First I want to take a look at, Nugget. What do you do? Okay, literally, we got into this at, I think, $26.15 yesterday, $26.15. 5% of 5% gain would have taken us out at $27.45. First thing this morning, it pops up to $27.44. What do you do? And now, as you can see, it sold off a little bit. It sold off almost a buck. And then it looks like it's trying to rebound and bounce back up. What's a way to kind of like work your way around that? Some people, they'll cheat and just take, they know that the 27.45 is the 5% rule, but they'll back off like a nickel or a dime, and they'll either go ahead and just be satisfied with 4.8% gain in just a couple of days, or they'll throw on what's called a trailing stop. In other words, if it hits 27.40, put on a trailing stop of 25 cents, and that way when it triggers and then starts pulling back, you'll at least get the larger percentage of that. It may drop another 25 cents until you get stopped out, but again, it gives you a bigger portion of the gain. 5% gains are not, you're liking them better when they're up to the 10%, but if you're pushing at a 5%, but I've seen this time and time again, where it goes up to a penny, stops dead in the water, and you miss it anywhere, a penny to a nickel. And I think part of it is because there's a lot of people who may have gotten in around the same area because they were watching, kind of a similar trigger. They get in, they figure their 5-10% profit ratio, and then they put that in there, and so you've got a whole lot of overhead resistance at that point. The market makers know about that. So why? Here's another one. I want to point out for folks. Okay, YY is sitting at 108.85. We took a basically as it rebounded and the TSI ticked up. This is the hourly chart. Here's what we're going to be focused on over the next couple of weeks. It bounced off the 50 period moving average, which equates to the 8. For those who trade strategy number 2, this is where we said, okay, let's sell a credit put spread, which means we're betting that YY is going to continue to go up. And so what I sell, I sold the 108, I bought the 105 call. I think we made about $1.25, $1.30 on that. And as long as YY stays above 108 going into close next Friday, we'll collect all of that premium, and we'll basically be able to just put that into our pocket and say, hey, thank you very much. And so that's one of the strategy 2 trades that we're looking at. Again, as long as we stay up. And what are some of the other positives I was looking at on this trade? Well, one, we're bouncing off of the 8 period moving average or the 50 period moving average here on the intraday chart, 1 hour intraday chart, but it's the 8-day on the weekly chart. As you can see, that is 107.51. This yellow line, which is the 50 period moving average, is 107.66. So they're very close to each other. But this, if you're interested, if you're not a premium member yet, and this kind of swing trading is of interest to you, that you would like to participate in it going into the end of the year and maybe continue on into 2018, now's the time to, hey, join. Even if you're only a member for a month, you'll get to participate in some of this practice trades that we're doing, or live trades that we're doing in preparation for what's going to happen next year. Because I'm sensing next year, it will, if the tax plan passes, then look for a big upsurge into the end of the year, and maybe into the first couple of years couple of months next year. But then at some point there's going to be a gravity that's going to take over, that's going to pull the market into a correction. Now I think it's kind of funny, somebody was mentioning the other night that President Trump specifically said that there will be no corrections as long as he's the president in the market. Well, I don't think he gets to make that decision. So anyway, but we'll keep an eye on that. But if that's what you're after, great. We can work on that, because what we're looking at is I am going to be spending more time at my computer watching for these reversals and the setups for the reversal, because as you can, so that I can get those alerts out to the premium members. So with that covers what we are looking at for next week, and gives you a couple of ideas for what you may want to be trading. Remember the newsletter that comes out on Saturday, Sunday, called The Art and Science of Active Trend Trading. We include in that all of the watch lists that we're watching. So with that, I bid you adieu. God bless everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Aloha. Good day, traders. This is Dennis. During the month of December, the premium membership for the active trend traders is going to be offered at 40% off. It's a regular monthly membership amount, $44.99, and early warning alerts. You can jump on early warning alerts for $249, which is 50% off the regular yearly membership. So don't miss out on this opportunity. Aloha. God bless everybody.